Hello there, everyone. My name is Matthew, and welcome back to the Adventures of the Old Testament. Now, don't adjust anything. Don't be alarmed. Yes, my background has changed. That is because I just recently rearranged my bedroom. But in doing so, I present to you the Wall of Geekdom. Okay, anyway. I'm a huge geek, in case that wasn't already evident. So, when we left off, we played the Lot episode. Today, we're going to be watching the Jacob animation, and we're going to be watching and playing the Joseph level. So, without any further ado, let's watch Jacob. Please be a short animation. Oh my God! Wait! Stop! Stop! This animation's almost a half an hour long. I give up. I give up. Okay.
Lived a long and happy life until he joined his wife Sarah in death. Isaac and the tribe took Abraham's body and placed it next to Sarah in the burial cave of Machpelah. Just like his father, Isaac remained childless for many years.
I'm so afraid Rebecca is barren. All we can do now is pray to God and trust in his promise.
Isaac's prayers were answered. Rebecca became pregnant, but there was something unusual about her pregnancy. So they asked God, and he answered.
Rebecca, you will give birth to two nations. I've blessed you with twin boys. One will be stronger than the other, and the youngest will rule the older.
Rebecca's firstborn had thick reddish hair. Holding onto his heel as they came into the world was his fraternal twin, who had thin, dark hair. They named the firstborn Esau, and the secondborn Jacob. As the twins grew, so did the conflict between them. Unfortunately, Isaac's love for his sons blinded him to their disdain of one another.
Yeah, you didn't get a thing. I think you should stick to shepherding, or maybe sewing.
I'm sick of your voice. Be quiet.
I don't have to be quiet. I'm older than you, and I will receive the birthright. Then you will have to listen to me.
You are a great hunter, Esau, and strong as an ox.
Sure, he might be as strong as an ox, but he's as stupid as one too. I must come up with a plan to trick him out of his birthright.
One morning, Jacob watched Esau as he left the camp to go out hunting.
In this heat, I know he's going to the watering hole to find animals. He'll be gone for hours. He will be tired and hungry when he returns. This is my chance. I will make him his favorite stew.
As the sun set, Jacob sat just outside the camp with his stew and waited for his brother Esau to return.
Wait, why doesn't he have any animals? He must not have caught anything.
Esau, I've made your favorite stew.
Oh, I'm starving. I could eat a camel.
How much do you want this stew?
What?
How much do you want this stew?
I'd give anything for it, you idiot.
Anything? Would you trade me your birthright for it?
That's a stupid question. Is a birthright delicious and filled with juicy meat? Give me the stew.
Before I give you the stew, swear that your birthright is mine.
I promise, my birthright now belongs to you. Now, can I eat? I'm starving.
Enjoy. Eat all you want, brother.
Esau is so dumb. Now I will inherit double my father's wealth, and I will rule the tribe instead of Esau.
Over the years, it became clear that Isaac's favorite son was Esau. He did not know that Esau had already given up his birthright to Jacob. When Isaac fell ill, Jacob realized that tricking Esau into giving up his birthright had not been enough. Now he had to get his father to give him the family blessing directly.
I need to speak with my son Esau. Go and find him right away.
In his old age, Isaac's eyesight began to fail him, and he realized it was time for his tribe to have a new leader. He was ready to give Esau his blessing.
You asked to see me, Father?
Esau, I don't know how much longer I will live. I am hungry for some fresh venison. If you bring me that, I will give you my blessing to seal your birthright.
After overhearing Isaac's words to Esau, Rebekah ran through the camp looking for her son Jacob.
Go find Jacob right away. Tell him to come to my tent as fast as he can.
You wanted to see me?
Jacob, your father is about to bless Esau for his birthright. You must hurry. Go to your father and get his blessing before Esau does, or else the trade you made with him will mean nothing.
But how? Father prefers Esau.
Your father can't see anything. Present yourself as Esau, and he will bless you by mistake. He sent Esau out to fetch him some fresh venison. This is from yesterday. He won't know the difference.
What if he touches me? He will know I'm not Esau because my skin is not hairy.
I've already thought of that. Put these goat skins on your neck and arms. They might fool him if he touches you. And put this on. It's Esau's silk robe. It even smells like him.
What if I...
Do you or do you not want the birthright?
Yes, Mother, I do. More than anything.
Then you will do as I say and not worry about getting caught. If this does not work, then I'll tell your father I was to blame. Now go.
I have brought you the venison that you asked for, Father.
It seems you were just here. How did you hunt down a deer so fast?
I asked God to help me.
So be it. God helps those who obey him. That smells delicious.
It's very hot. Let it cool. I am ready for the blessing, Father.
That's odd. Your voice sounds like Jacob's. Come close to me, my boy, so I can be sure that you are my eldest son before I bless you. Esau, I know those hairy arms anywhere. No one smells quite as strong as you do. Let God bless you with the wealth of the earth. Let the people be your servants, and let nations bow down to you. Be ruler over your brothers. Let those who curse you be cursed, and all those who bless you be blessed.
Thank you, Father.
As soon as the blessing was over, Jacob rushed out of his father's tent and ran to find his mother.
Mother, I did it! Father gave me his blessing and it's all mine! But what do you think Esau will do?
Esau can't do anything. Not even your father can take back his blessing.
While Jacob and his mother were celebrating, Esau returned from his hunt. Esau proudly prepared the meat for his father and brought him a large serving.
Father, here's the venison that you asked for, freshly cooked.
Who are you?
What do you mean, who am I? It's Esau. You asked me to bring you some fresh venison and then you would bless me? Or did you forget?
Someone has deceived me. Who did I just give my blessing to?
You can bless me too, Father. Please, give me your blessing.
I can't, my son. The blessing can only be given once.
Father, isn't there another blessing that you can give to me?
I can only bless you with this, my son. By your sword shall you live and serve Jacob. And one day you shall break his yoke from around your neck.
Shaking with anger, Esau rushed out of Isaac's tent.
Jacob, I am going to kill you for stealing this from me.
One of Rebekah's servants overheard Esau's threat to kill his brother over stealing his birthright. She ran and reported it to Rebekah.
I just heard Esau say he was going to kill Jacob! I wouldn't read anything into that. Just don't mention it to anyone. Now go find Jacob and send him to me right away. Your brother is very, very angry. I think it's best that you leave for a while. You can visit my brother Laban in the city of Haran. Once Esau has calmed down and it's safe, I'll send word for your return.
What about Father? Is he angry with me?
I will talk to him.
Once more, Rebecca helped her favorite son.
Isaac, Esau's foreign wives are worshipping false gods, and that is causing problems for us. But I have a solution. Jacob should marry a girl from our own people. Remember how I came into your life when your father's servant found me in Haran?
Isaac knew that Rebecca was right. Sending Jacob to Haran would be the best solution for all concerned. He called for his son. Jacob, scared and ashamed, entered his father's tent.
My son, I want you to visit your Uncle Laban in Haran. There you will find yourself a wife amongst his family.
Yes, Father. Anything you say.
And may God bless you on your journey.
Father is very old. I may never see him again. Esau wants me dead. You will be the only person I will get to come home to.
Be safe, my son.
But Jacob and Rebekah never saw each other again. This was God's punishment for their deceit. Jacob decided to travel alone, taking no servants. Haran was a great distance away, and it would take several weeks for him to reach it. As he traveled, his loneliness began to consume him. He missed his mother, who always cared for him and protected him. The harsh desert sun beat down on him day after day. Finally, Jacob collapsed from exhaustion. During the night, Jacob dreamed of a beautiful shining stairway that reached up into the heavens. Angels walked up and down the stairs as if they were bringing help from God. In his dream, God spoke to Jacob.
Jacob, I promise I will protect you and bring you safely to Haran.
When Jacob woke up the next morning, he was in awe of his dream. Jacob realized his theft of Esau's blessing was wrong, and he should repent.
God must be in this place. This has to be the gate to heaven.
Jacob turned a stone up on its end and made an altar. Then he gave worship to God and named the place Bethel, which means the house of God.
God, if you will go with me on my journey, I will never leave you and I will never sin again.
Jacob continued his journey as a stronger and more noble man. He was excited to spread the love and care of God, and he was happy that he left his dishonest life behind. After his long journey, Jacob finally reached the edge of the city of Haran. There he saw a young woman tending a flock of sheep. As he approached her, he was taken by her lovely features.
She's so beautiful. Excuse me, miss? Do you know where I can find Chieftain Laban? He's my uncle.
I'm Laban's daughter. What is your name?
Jacob, son of Isaac and Rebecca.
It's wonderful to finally meet you. My name is Rachel.
That's a pretty name.
I need to tell my father that you're here.
I will take your sheep down to the watering hole.
That's so very kind of you.
Rachel ran off to tell her father of his nephew's arrival. That night, a feast was held in honor of Jacob's visit. Jacob told stories of his journey to Haran. Leah, Laban's eldest daughter, served the food, while his youngest daughter Rachel sat and listened, fascinated by Jacob's stories. Jacob had fallen in love with Rachel at first sight, so he decided to stay. Before he knew it, 30 days had passed.
It's time you stop living here for free. You will work for me and I will pay you. What is your fee?
Sir, I am in love with your daughter Rachel. If you will give me her hand in marriage, I will work for 7 years for nothing.
Having you as a son-in-law would be better than a total stranger. I accept.
But Laban did not allow Jacob to marry Rachel right away. Jacob would have to work the 7 years first. 7 years passed quickly for Jacob, and he had fulfilled his end of the agreement. He took care of the sheep for free out of his love for Rachel. Finally, the day came for him to claim his bride.
Uncle, I have worked hard for 7 years. Now it is time for Rachel and I to marry.
You've done a great job, nephew. I will tell my servants to prepare a magnificent wedding feast 7 days from now.
The night and feast were filled with laughter, joy, and wine. When the moment came for Laban to present his daughter to Jacob, he led Jacob, now stumbling drunk, to a shadowed area by his home. He brought out his veiled daughter.
Jacob, I give you my beautiful daughter to be your bride.
I've been waiting 7 years for this moment. Kiss me.
When the sun rose, Jacob discovered that the woman beside him was not Rachel. Laban had lied and switched his daughters.
What is going on? You lied and gave me Leah for my wife instead of Rachel.
Did you really think that I would have given Rachel away before my oldest daughter Leah was married? You cheated firstborn Esau out of his birthright, but that is not how things are done here in Haran.
But I worked so hard for 7 years because I am in love with Rachel.
If you really want to marry Rachel, work for me another 7 years. Then you have my word that you can marry Rachel next week.
I'll do it, for the love of Rachel.
Agreed. No more discussion.
Your father tricked me, but he said we can marry next week if I work another 7 years for free. I will happily do that. I love you.
And I love you too, Jacob. I can't wait to be your wife.
This is God's plan.
Rachel and Jacob were married, and he worked another 7 years for Laban. During those 14 years of work, God blessed Jacob with his own healthy flocks of sheep and a family of 11 sons, 10 with Leah, and his youngest Joseph with Rachel.
Rachel, have you seen that your father keeps giving me dirty looks? Is he still angry that I stole Esau's blessing? I've repented. I think it's time that we leave Haran. God keeps telling me it's time to go back to Canaan.
So Jacob and his family collected all of their belongings, herded their sheep together, and began their long journey to Canaan. Jacob worried that Laban might send men to try to bring them back, so he ordered his eldest sons to keep a watchful eye for anyone that may be following them. As they traveled, Jacob is overly protective of the camel carrying Rachel and baby Joseph. He watches its every step with a guarded eye. It is obvious to Jacob's other sons that Joseph is clearly their father's favorite. And although it was never his intention, Jacob has unknowingly laid the first brick in a wall of jealousy that will eventually separate Joseph and his brothers. After several days of traveling, one of the servants saw a caravan following them. It was Laban and his men.
Jacob, how dare you leave and not give me the opportunity to say goodbye?
I was wary that you would have prevented your daughters from coming with me.
You're lucky that God has commanded that I do not harm you. So, we will settle this another way. These stones will mark our borders. I'll stay on my side, you stay on your side, and there will be no trouble.
So Jacob, Laban, and their servants built a stone border to solve their differences. As Jacob and his family continued their journey to Canaan, Jacob had a beautiful vision.
This is amazing. God's angels are here to protect me.
As Jacob got closer to his old home, he became concerned that Esau would still want him dead.
I want you to ride ahead and find Esau. Let him know that my family and I are coming home, and that I hope he has forgiven me.
Jacob anxiously watched as his servants rode off to search for Esau. While he sat by himself, he thought back to the time that he tricked his brother and stole his birthright, and to the many times he had lied to his father.
Please, forgive me, God.
Finally, the riders returned with news. They told Jacob that Esau was coming to meet him with 400 men. Jacob is frightened, but he has a plan. He divides his caravan into 2 groups.
At least if Esau attacks one of our groups, then the others can escape.
Once more, Jacob sends his servants to find Esau, but this time bearing sheep, camels, and other valuable livestock as gifts for his brother. Late that night, Jacob had trouble sleeping. He prayed to God. He confessed his sins, acknowledged his fears, and asked God for guidance. As he prayed, a strategy presented itself.
My family should be on the other side of the river.
And so, in the middle of the night, Jacob moved his large family across the river.
Rachel, you will be more protected on this side of the river. I need to go back.
I wish you didn't have to leave us.
Later that night, as Jacob sat alone, he suddenly felt himself fighting with a mysterious stranger. The power of the stranger's presence was fierce, but Jacob continued to fight until the stranger finally stopped. Then, the stranger blessed him.
Your name will no longer be Jacob. Instead, you will be called Israel, which means God rests. God be with you.
When morning came, Jacob had no fear in meeting Esau, for he had been blessed by God. Esau approached him with outstretched arms.
My brother, it is wonderful to see you. It's been too long.
You are not mad at me.
You are my brother. I cannot stay mad.
God has brought us back together. Come, I want you to meet my family. Esau, I'd like you to meet my wife Rachel and our boy Joseph.
It's nice to meet you, Esau.
This is Leah, and these are our sons.
It's so nice to meet my brother's family. God has blessed you all.
Following a wonderful dinner together, Jacob and Esau catch up.
I can't believe Mother is dead.
She was old.
And Father?
Last I saw him, he was fine, living in Hebron. But he is so old, we may never see him again.
The next day, Jacob and Esau say their goodbyes and go their separate ways.
Safe travels, brother. Tell Father I'm praying for him.
God bless. Farewell.
During Jacob's journey, he made a stop at Bethel.
Why are we stopping here?
I wanted to share this special place with you. This rock is where the angels of heaven appeared and where God gave me his word to watch over me. He has blessed me with more than I am worthy.
God has truly blessed our family, Jacob. I pray that he continues to protect our boy Joseph. and also our new baby when it comes.
One night near Bethlehem, Rachel gave birth to a baby boy. Tragically, Rachel died during childbirth.
No! It can't be true! My Rachel. I will call you Benjamin, and my boys will be a constant reminder of my cherished wife.
Jacob buried Rachel. With deep sadness in his heart, Jacob began his travels once again. As he continued through the desert, he would think about his wife and parents often.
Oh, how I miss you, Rachel. I only hope I can make it to my father before he passes away.
As the sun beat down from the sky, Jacob raised his hand over his eyes and looked at the city of Hebron from afar. Little Joseph asked if this is where his grandfather lives.
He does live there, Joseph. Grandfather Isaac is very old, but I pray that God has watched over him.
Jacob was blessed. His father was still alive. He quickly ran and knelt before him.
Father! It's your son, Jacob! I'm here with you once again. Thanks be to God you are still alive.
Jacob, my boy, you've come at last. Tell me, has God blessed you with many children as he promised?
With pride, Jacob introduced all 10 of his boys with Leah. Then, he introduced his 2 favorite sons.
And my last 2 boys are Joseph and Benjamin. They are the sons of my dearest wife, Rachel.
I would like to meet her.
She is no longer with us.
Have strength and always follow God, my son. Did you hear that, my grandchildren?
And with those last words, Isaac passed, and his soul joined God in heaven.
That was Jacob. Nothing has changed. I did not stop in the middle of my recording to walk up to the convenience store down the street from my house because I was out of beverages. I'm not sweating. I'm glowing. Who am I kidding? I'm sweating. Like, it's 80 degrees outside, which means it's hotter in my room because I don't have air conditioning. My roommate does, and she's not sharing. Our electric bill is going to be so high this month. Anyway, now it's time for Joseph. Please be a short animation. Come on!
After Isaac passed away,
Wait!
Jacob became the leader of...
Wait! This one's longer than the last one! Am I gonna have to do this in 2 parts, or is this gonna be like an hour-long video? Look at it. 28 minutes. The Jacob animation was 26 minutes. I'm committed. I'm in. Too deep. Let's go. We're doing it.
the tribe. He relocated his family to the land of Canaan and gave his sons the responsibility of caring for the sheep. But one day, Jacob's favorite son, Joseph, came to Jacob and tattled on his half-brothers.
My brothers are ignoring their herds. We're losing sheep, Father.
Jacob took Joseph out to the fields to see for himself.
You boys need to stop causing problems and be responsible. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves and be more like Joseph here. Thank you for telling me about your brothers, Joseph. I'm proud of you.
You're welcome, Father. I'm here to do what's right for our family.
Joseph's brothers became increasingly disgruntled with him.
Why does Father always favor Joseph over us?
Snitches end up in ditches. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
He ratted us out. Next thing you know, he'll put himself in charge of the sheep, and he'll be bossing us around.
I refuse to take orders from that little snitch.
Back at camp, Jacob presented Joseph with a special surprise.
Joseph, this jacket is special. I had it made especially for you.
Thank you, Father. It's beautiful. I feel like a chieftain in this robe.
Wearing his new coat, Joseph went to the fields to show his brothers. But this only made them more furious and jealous.
Father had this coat made just for me. Watching you guys work reminds me of a dream I had. We were all working together making stacks of grain. But once we finished, everyone's stack bowed down to mine.
We will never bow down to you.
Last night I had another dream. All things we can see in the sky bowed down to me as well.
Joseph, stop it right now. None of us will be serving you. It is not God's plan. God surely can't be giving him these dreams.
When morning came, Joseph returned to the fields.
Here he comes. Time to bring Joseph down and show him that he is not above us.
Jacob had ordered Joseph to check on his brothers and report back how things were going.
I'm so sick of his attitude.
He thinks he's so superior.
I say we make him disappear.
No, I have a better idea. Let's throw him into the well.
Suddenly, his brothers jumped on him, ripped off his jacket, and pushed him into the well.
Help me! Help! You will pay for this!
Shut up, you arrogant fool!
You're going to die of starvation!
Ha 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 ha!
The brothers left Joseph to die.
I've been thinking, if we just let Joseph die in that well, what do we get out of it? Nothing. We ought to be making some money from this situation.
What are you talking about?
Doesn't Amos the slave dealer come through here every sixth day?
That's tomorrow.
Exactly.
Just as predicted, Amos, the slave dealer, was passing through the area.
How much would you pay for this slave?
But I'm not a slave.
Be quiet! So, how much?
Why are you selling him?
He talks too much.
He looks a little weak. I'll pay you 15 shekels.
20 shekels and he's all yours.
Reuben was unaware of what happened to Joseph because he had been tending to the sheep. He had suggested throwing Joseph into the well so he could save him later. Reuben immediately ran to his brothers, who were gathered inside their tent.
What have you done with Joseph? Where did he go?
We got rid of him.
What?
We didn't kill him, we sold him.
To Amos, the slave dealer.
Here's your portion of the money.
You sold him off as a slave? What are you going to tell Father?
We're gonna pour goat's blood on his jacket and let Father think that wild animals attacked him.
Once the brothers reached home, they followed through with their evil lies.
Father, we came across this jacket covered in blood in the field. Do you have any idea who it belongs to?
It's your brother, Joseph's.
We haven't seen him for days and days.
No, he must have been attacked by a mountain lion. Oh, my poor boy. I can't believe my son is gone. My son.
Meanwhile, in Egypt, Joseph stood before a crowd of slave buyers.
This boy has good physical features and is strong. He will make a great slave for anyone, fit for a king.
I'll pay 30 shekels for the boy.
And the well-dressed man paid Amos and took Joseph away. Joseph was now the slave of Potiphar, the king's guard.
God, I don't understand how this could be your plan.
But he took his job seriously and continued to put his faith in God. Over time, Joseph grew from a spoiled young boy to a diligent young man.
Joseph has worked hard to become my most valuable slave.
He doesn't seem like a slave. How much do you know about his past?
The The dealer told me he's from Canaan somewhere. The boy is not only strong, but he is smart as well.
And good looking, too. He would look like a prince if he was dressed in appropriate clothing.
Over the years, Joseph continued to work hard. Eventually, Potiphar put Joseph in charge of all of the king's properties. Potiphar's wife was very attracted to Joseph. One afternoon, she approached Joseph and attempted to seduce the young slave.
Hello, Joseph. I see that you've been working hard all day in this heat. You're glistening. Let me take this. Why don't you take a break next to me and tell me how you got to Egypt?
I can't. I need to complete my work. If it's not done when Potiphar returns, he will be disappointed.
Why do you always put Potiphar first?
Because I'm his slave, and this is God's plan. I can't become unreliable.
Stop! Potiphar's wife was furious at Joseph's rejection, and she plotted to get revenge.
I will not be treated this way by any man. He will pay for this.
As soon as Potiphar returned, his wife rushed to him with tears in her eyes.
That Hebrew slave of yours held me down and tried to push his lips against mine. When I screamed for help, he ran off. Fortunately, he dropped his robe.
Bring him to me now. He will be punished for this.
Joseph was sent to prison.
Who do we have here? Those are some pretty nice clothes you've got there, boy.
Those clothes won't be that fancy once you've been in here long enough. Soon you will forget what it's like on the outside.
Wrongly convicted, Joseph spent his first night in jail amongst the criminals. Most men in his situation would have been afraid, but Joseph found strength through God.
No God could save you, boy.
Let the boy be. He has more courage than any of us.
Over many long, hot days, the prisoners became exhausted from the heat and lack of food. Things were so bad that they began to argue over the food and water portions, and even where to sleep. Suddenly, a fight broke out between two of the prisoners.
You two break it up. Fighting with each other isn't going to do any of you any good. We need to work together and be fair.
Through God, Joseph learned to be a leader and to have patience. The jailkeeper noticed Joseph's ability to keep the peace between the prisoners, so he put Joseph in charge of the others. A few days passed, and the Pharaoh's baker and butler found themselves in prison for displeasing him. Night after night, the baker and the butler had nightmares that haunted them even while they were awake. Searching for answers, they approached Joseph.
These dreams are very disturbing. Do you have any idea what they mean?
3 days from now, you will be set free and your position with the Pharaoh will be restored. You will be the king's butler once more. The only thing I ask of you is, when you speak to the Pharaoh, please ask that he set me free. I'm innocent, and I've been wrongly accused.
Please tell me that my dream has a happy meaning as well.
3 days from now, you shall also be set free. Not from jail, but from life. You shall be hanged in the public square for all to see.
3 days later, as Joseph had explained, the butler's position was restored, and the baker was hanged. However, 2 years passed, and the butler never asked the Pharaoh to release Joseph. Then one night, the Pharaoh had a terrible nightmare.
I've had a horrible dream. No wine for me today. Is there anyone in my kingdom who can determine what these nightmares mean?
Your Majesty, I know a man who can help. He's a Hebrew prisoner who explained my dream to me, and what he said came true.
Well, go get him.
Right away, Your Majesty.
The butler rushed to have Joseph released from prison and brought him to the Pharaoh right away.
My butler tells me that you can explain my dreams.
It's not me, Your Majesty. It is my God. He can explain your dream through me.
Very well. From the Nile came 7 hefty cows. Then 7 lanky cows came and ate the hefty herd.
This is a warning from God. You shall have 7 seasons of excellent crops, and then 7 seasons of drought. A responsible man should be in charge of storing the harvest during the first 7 seasons. That way you can provide plenty of food for the kingdom during the drought.
No man is more knowledgeable than you. Since you have your guide, bring the officers of my court here, quickly. This man is wiser than any other in my kingdom. Joseph, this ring will symbolize that you are second in command. You will act as my prime minister, and only I will have more power over Egypt.
With the words of the pharaoh, in an instant, Joseph went from being a prisoner to the illustrious position of governor of Egypt. Thankful for the opportunity God had given him, Joseph walked outside, knelt, and prayed. The people put Joseph's plan in action and began storing grain in preparation for a famine. During the 7 years of prosperity, he became popular throughout Egypt, and the people celebrated when he married the daughter of the priest of On. After 7 years, the drought and famine quickly led to panic throughout many countries. But because of God's warning, Egypt was the only country that had food during those difficult times. People fled to Egypt with hopes of buying food for their people. Joseph's very own brothers from the city of Canaan appeared before him and bowed, just as his dream predicted years before.
Governor, we are here to purchase grain from you, Your Majesty.
So much time has passed. My brothers do not recognize me.
Joseph decided to take advantage of the situation. He put them through a test, so he could discover if they had learned to be kind and respectful to others over the years.
Are you here to spy on me?
Your Majesty, I swear we are not. We are here on behalf of our father, Chieftain Jacob. We are his sons, and we are only here to purchase some grain for our people.
Are you his only sons?
Our father had 12 sons.
So, where are the other 2?
Benjamin, the youngest, is looking after our father in Canaan. Our other brother, Joseph, died many years ago.
I don't believe a word you say. Guards, put them in jail immediately. Hey!
What would make him think we are spies?
I have no idea. I wonder why he wanted to know if father had any more sons.
Days passed and the brothers continued to be confused by the governor's decision. They still did not recognize that the governor was Joseph. Finally, Joseph ordered that his brothers be brought to him immediately.
I will allow you to buy grain from our supply, but I will keep one of you as my prisoner to make sure you are not spies. Once you bring your youngest brother to me, I will release my prisoner.
Why me? I won't survive in prison.
The guards tied Simeon's hands and took him away.
Simeon! God is punishing us for selling Joseph into slavery.
After all these years, are they just now regretting what they did to me?
Then Joseph had a clever idea.
Give me all your money. I will give it to the grain manager, and he will fill your sacks with all you need. Now go.
Anxious to leave, the brothers rushed off to collect their grain. At the granary, the manager appeared with all of their sacks filled to the top. The brothers wasted no time fleeing Egypt and returned home. When the brothers arrived home, they noticed that miraculously, all their money had also been put in the sacks, along with all the grain.
Why is there money in your sacks? And where is your brother Simeon?
Father, our journey was so odd. The governor thought we were there to spy on him. He threw us in jail. Then he let us all go free, except for Simeon. He demanded that we bring Benjamin to him, and then he would let Simeon go.
That's absurd. I'll never send my youngest boy to Egypt. I can't stand to lose another son as I did with Joseph.
But Father, we can't just leave Simeon in Egypt.
Why would Father do this? Are we never to return to Egypt?
The day finally arrived when there was very little grain left.
This is not good. We only have enough grain left for a few days. I don't know what we can do unless Father allows us to take Benjamin with us to Egypt to buy more grain.
With all the grain gone, Jacob had to make a very difficult decision.
Why is the governor keeping Simeon as his prisoner until you bring Benjamin to him? I don't understand why he wants to see my youngest boy.
Simeon might die in prison. I must do my part and go, Father, and we must buy more grain. You're a brave young man, Benjamin.
Yes, he is. All right, then. I will give you extra money so you can bring back twice the grain. And you must give the governor gifts to appease him so he will not harm Benjamin. Go. May God bless us all.
A few days passed and the brothers finally reached Egypt.
No matter what happens, Benjamin, we will keep you safe. I'm not scared, brother. I have faith that God will watch over us, just as he does back home.
When Joseph met with the men, he kept his promise. He released Simeon from prison. Then he questioned the fourth brother, Judah.
How is your father?
He is well, your majesty.
And this young man here is his son?
Yes, this is our youngest brother, Benjamin.
Joseph became emotional when he saw all of his stepbrothers together, and especially seeing his true brother, Benjamin, who reminded him of his mother. In order to hide his feelings, Joseph quickly walked out of the room.
What was that about?
I have no idea.
A few hours later, Joseph returned to join his brothers in a feast, and he continued to baffle them.
Has anyone noticed that we're seated in order of our age?
Seems like the governor knows a lot more about us than we think. What could he be up to?
As the brothers tried to figure out what was going on, the food was served. Benjamin received the largest portion, which was considered a sign of great respect.
Look at that. What could that mean?
This is strange.
The next day, the staff filled the brothers' sacks with the grain that they had purchased. They then headed for home with Simeon and Benjamin. Just before they reached the edge of the city, a chariot rushed towards them.
You there! Stop! My master's silver cup is missing, and he believes that one of you stole it.
I don't know what you're talking about. If you don't believe us, you can search us.
The guards searched them and found the silver cup in Benjamin's sack.
You will pay for stealing from my master.
I swear, I've never seen that cup in my life. This has to be a horrible mistake. We would never steal from anyone.
My master demands that I bring back the person who stole his cup. The three of you will come with me.
Benjamin, you shall not face this alone. We are all coming with you.
The guards took the brothers back to the governor to face their punishment.
Did you think that you could get away with stealing from me, and that I would not notice? I will have mercy on this boy. He will stay in Egypt and become my slave. All of you return home and tell your father what has happened.
Your Majesty, I beg you to let me be your slave instead. Our father would die if he was to lose his youngest boy.
Guards, you may leave. I need a moment alone with these men. I can no longer keep my secret from you. I was once a boy who was sold by his brothers into slavery. Gentlemen, I am your brother, Joseph.
Joseph? My brother!
God has blessed us and brought us together once again.
Joseph? Is it really you? You must despise us all for what we did to you.
I believe that God brought me to Egypt.
so that I would have the ability to save my family and the lives of others who are suffering from the drought.
How could you ever forgive us for our sins?
Brothers, I forgave you long ago. When you showed up in Egypt, I had to find out if you had changed your ways. By giving yourself up for Benjamin, it proved to me that you had. I want you to go home and bring our father back to Egypt, so he can be close to me. We have another 5 years of this drought. I will protect and provide for you all.
God has truly blessed us all, brothers.
The brothers hurried to Canaan with the great news. While returning to Egypt with their father, they stopped in Goshen. When Joseph got word of this, he rushed to greet them.
What was that?
Father, it has been so long. Joseph, my boy, I have missed you. God has blessed us and answered my prayers.
Daw.
Proud to have his father by his side in Egypt, Joseph introduced Jacob to the Pharaoh. As a gift, the Pharaoh presented Jacob one of the grandest pastures in Egypt.
Thank you, Your Majesty. May God bless you for all that you have done for us.
It had been a wonderful 17 years since Jacob and his sons joined Joseph in Egypt. Then finally, the day came when sad news was brought to Joseph. Jacob was dying, and he needed to see Joseph and Joseph's sons Manasseh and Ephraim right away. They rushed to his side.
Joseph, my boy, bring your sons closer so I may bless them.
Due to the past sins of Joseph's older brothers, Joseph and his sons were given the family birthright. When Jacob blessed his grandsons, he crossed his arms, which gave Ephraim, the youngest grandson, the bigger share of the birthright.
God, please bless my grandsons the way you have blessed me my whole life.
Shortly after, all of Jacob's sons gathered around so he could bless them. Moments later, their father passed away. They returned Jacob's body to Canaan to be buried.
The subtitles are off.
Together, the sons mourned the loss of their father. After the funeral, Joseph walked alone to grieve.
Even after being separated from father all those years, Joseph was still father's favorite.
Yes, he was. And there is nothing we can do to console him, but I have an idea.
The subtitles are out of sync.
Joseph, I know there is nothing we can say to comfort you, but you are now the chieftain of our tribe. If you would like, we will be your servants.
That is unnecessary, my brothers. You have sinned in the past, but through you, God blessed me in return. Gather your things. It's time we return to Egypt.
For many years, Joseph and his brothers lived a wonderful life in Egypt.
God has truly given us more than we deserve. We must always follow him. Thank you, God, for blessing us with this life and forgiving us for our sins.
Over the years, Joseph's family grew. When he was very old, he sent for his family to visit him.
God will send you to the land of our family that was given to Abraham, then to Isaac, and to my father Jacob. When the time comes, I want you to take my body back to Canaan, so I can be buried on the same land as my father.
A few days later, Joseph passed away, and his family took his body to Canaan. The news of Joseph's death traveled across Egypt, and the whole land grieved. But over time, the new rulers of Egypt forgot how Joseph was able to prevent famine through God. They were only focused on the large number of Hebrew tribes that had grown throughout Egypt.
Is that? Oh, finally, my God. Listen, I love these stories. I love learning about all these characters and, you know, the trials, tribulations, and blessings that they go through in their life. But I've noticed something. There are like panning shots and like, you know, overhead shots and that have no dialogue, have no reason to be there. If they cut these animations a little bit better, they would be shorter. And I wouldn't be making an hour-long video right now. Anyway, let's waste no more time because we don't have any time to waste. And let's play Joseph. How we're going to... what gameplay is actually there, I don't know. Ugh. Loading. Loading. Story lessons. Here are just a few lessons we think you should take away from this biblical story. Forgiveness is important. Joseph forgave his brothers for selling him into slavery, even though they treated him badly. This teaches us that forgiveness is a powerful tool that can help us move on from hurtful experience and restore relationships. Have faith in difficult times. Even though Joseph went through many trials and tribulations, he never lost faith in God. This reminds us that we can turn to our faith during tough times and trust that things will eventually work out. Hard work pays off. Joseph worked hard and was able. Is that it? Okay, I guess. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. Hard work pays off. Joseph worked hard and was able to rise to a position of power in Egypt. This teaches us that with determination and perseverance, we can we can what? Skip. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Okay. Main menu. Hold up. There's a glitch here because it doesn't give us the whole thing for the story lessons, and it gives us absolutely nothing about level disclaimer. So, got it. Skip. Defend yourself. Against who? Oh. Am I supposed to be fighting them? Are they broken? What is going on? I can't stop. Okay, so I started the game over because that was some glitches. Let's see if starting this over makes any like a difference. So here's the story lesson. Now, normally it scrolls up by itself, but because, you know, I read at the pace of a snail, I always like bring it back down. So it cuts off there, and I don't know what's going on here, but let's try to get back into the game. Skip the cutscene. Okay, defend myself. All right. This just turned into a kung fu game. Everybody was kung fu fighting. I don't even know if I'm winning.
Suddenly, his brothers jumped on him.
Okay, now I'm in prison. I win? Oh, there's another guy here.
Baker and Butler found themselves in prison for displeasing.
Speak to... Alright, so I had no idea that this was going to be like a whole... like, the entire life's journey. And, like, everything keeps happening so quickly. During
the 7 years of prosperity, he
Skip.
became popular throughout Egypt, and the people...
And that was it. Alright, so this level was a little wonky. The story was fine. The story worked fine, but I didn't know that... Because normally when we play, we'll watch the animation, we'll play the level, and it's usually like 3-5 minutes of gameplay, and then that's it. Well, this one, I had to defend myself against, I'm assuming, my brothers. Because there was a well in the background. So I'm assuming it was like, you know, defend yourself before they throw in you the well, and then you get, you know, sold, and then you have to you go to jail because whatever his name's wife was, a big fat meanie, and lied, and then you have to defend yourself against the prisoners, and then you have to go talk to the pharaoh or whatever. It was all over the place. It was really hard to follow, so I apologize for that. I also apologize that this is probably an hour-long video. What do we have next? Moses! Awesome! I know Moses. Who doesn't? And that's a playable level, so that's good. So next time we'll watch the animation, which watch. It's going to be like a 3-minute animation. But we'll watch the animation, then we'll play the game, and then the week after that, Israelites and Exodus, that's just an animation. That's it? So, Moses is the last playable game for now. I mean, all the way down here. Oh, that's coming soon. Oh, no, I'm wrong. David's playable. So, coming soon. 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 Coming. Oh, that's the last one. All right. So, I guess we'll do some, with all these animations and no playability, we'll just watch and, I guess I'll react, but it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. It really warms my heart when you do that. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button. Don't forget to ding that little bell next to it so you guys can get notifications whenever we upload new videos. My name is Matthew, and I will see you guys in the next one.